If I could tie it back to the beginning here, these two books that I specifically wanted to ask you about that I've been reading. Literally, one is talking about the end of the American dream, and the other one is the end of everything. So my question becomes, does everything you talk about with tribalism, elite progressives, globalization, weaken America to the point that it is vulnerable in the ways Constantinople was, and Thebes was, and Carthage was? And if so, what is the message or the lesson you would hope our politicians take away before it's too late?
Well, even though we're time and space, there's different criteria today of a health of a nation. There's still certain constants throughout history. One of them is, can the country feed itself? Does the country have fuel? Does the country have a military? Does the country have a stable constitution? Does the country have defensible borders? And when you start to, does the country have, illustrious? So you look at the United States, it's never just absolute, it's in comparison to what? So we're the largest oil and gas producer in the world right now, combined. More than Saudi Arabia, more than Russia. If we want to, we probably have more precious rare earth than anybody if we wanted to go into Wyoming or Tehachapi or Utah. Yes.
Oh my gosh, I thought it was like Ukraine and Russia had the most.
No, I know, because we've put them off limits, but doesn't mean we can't put them back on limits. When you look at our military, I know we overspend, we're not, but the military is still the most lethal military in the world by far. If you look at nuclear, we're trying to keep up with the Chinese, but the Chinese are way behind us still. They got another decade or more. If you look at the Constitution, we have the oldest democracy in the world. It's the oldest. It's going to be 250 years. And we're the only for all these problems that we've discussed, there's only two other large multi-million person, over 300 million or 253, and that's Brazil and India, and they're multiracial democracies, and they're not working very well.
No.
We're the only one that is able to get by with, it's tax, but we're still, we're the largest by value of food. We're the largest, not in actual anymore with China, but the value of our food is the highest. It's the greatest in the world right now. We're the greatest producer by the value of all, and we're the most diverse food producer, from nuts, fruits, everything. It's only in the United States. So you look at all of this, and there's a lot to think. I think when I first got to Hoover, I would always think about Milton Friedman. He always quoted, I think it was either David Hume or Samuel Johnson. He always said there's a lot of a country. I debated him once, and he always said, we have a lot of rot left in this country, meaning we have such a surplus of resources, we can take a lot of rot. But it's just a question of cyclical renew. So Rome started in 753, and it went all the way, if you count the Eastern Empire, to 1453, and you could argue there were periods where it was completely gone, and the West was gone, but the Byzantines lasted another 1,000 years. So it's very hard to calibrate. I have a lot of confidence in the youngest generation right now, 18 to 28, 30, because they always rebel against things, and they can't buy houses as well. There's so many regulations. They don't like the racial stuff and all of that stuff, whether they're minority or not minority. I don't even know what a minority means. So-called white people are a minority in California now. But the point I'm making is that I think I have more hope in them than my generation that basically caused all the problems. I was at the end of I'm 71, I was at the end of the baby boomers, and we really were the ones that ruined a lot of stuff.
All right, tell me the truth. How many different beauty potions do you have sitting on your bathroom counter right now? Because if it's more than just Vibrance Super C Serum, then listen up. Because the ingredients in this one bottle can replace your day creams, eye creams, night creams, neck creams, wrinkle creams, and dark spot reducers. It's made in the U.S. with the highest quality ingredients, including vitamin C, hyaluronic acid, vitamin B5, vitamin E. Super C Serum delivers noticeable results. So simplify your skincare routine. Get a healthier complexion, minimize wrinkles and age spots with Vibrance. And if you don't find it better than your current skincare, you'll get a full refund. So go to Vibrance.com/Jillian to save up to 37% off, and you get free shipping. That's Vibrance, Vibrance, Vibrance.com/Jillian. When we talk about success in the health and wellness space, people usually focus on the product. Maybe it's killer protein powder, a sleek activewear line, a smart home workout program. But what most people don't realize is that the real magic often happens behind the scenes. Take some of your favorite brands like Alaya Naturals, Skims, or mine, for example. Yeah, I mean, we've got the products and the hype, but we're also using something that makes the selling part smooth and seamless. That business, the behind the scenes business, is Shopify. And nobody does better than Shopify at selling. Home to the #1 checkout on the planet and the not so secret weapon, Shop Pay, which boosts conversions by up to 50%. That means fewer carts get abandoned and way more sales actually go through. So if you're serious about scaling your business, your commerce platform better be ready to meet your customers where they are online, in store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Because businesses that sell more, they sell on Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout Alaya and Skims use. Sign up for your free $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/Jillian. That's shopify.com/Jillian, all lowercase. One more time, shopify.com/Jillian to upgrade your selling today.
But I have to be optimistic, and I don't, I used to really enjoy reading the Wall Street Journal, but when I see the Wall Street Journal, who's not the columnist, but the news division, be taken over by basically New York Times and political reporters. And when I saw March and they were saying recession and trade wars and prices are going to go up and we're going to have shortages, and then I see today and all this good news comes out about having the trade deficit this month and lowest inflation, all these, and it just tells me that there's a lot of common sense left in the world, that people can say, I don't need a PhD in economics to think it's a terrible thing to run up every year $1.1 trillion with the Chinese and give them all that foreign exchange, or to wipe out the whole industrial center of the United States and get fentanyl and all this social pathology just so we can say we're free traders. So I have a lot of confidence that we're a very self-correcting, self-critical society, and that we've got a lot of talent. One guy once told me, Tom Sowell.
Oh, he's awesome.
I had lunch with him every 2 weeks for 15 years. And he once said to me, Victor, we've got a lot of problems, but at that time we had about 300 million. He said, we have about 300 million. And we have about 75 million of the smartest, best educated, capable people in the world. And that's larger than the whole entire countries. And even if you say that most of us don't know what's going on, we do have. And he didn't mean just educated elites. He meant people who know how to weld and start businesses and long-haul trucking. So what he was saying is this country is so hard to characterize and stereotype because there's so much. It's the most dynamic country in the world. It's constantly reacting very rapidly to changing situations. If we had this conversation in 2008, 10, maybe just 15 years ago, you and I would be talking right now about peak oil, and we had reached peak oil, and we were all through, and our total production of oil was not 21 million barrels. It was about 7 and 8, and the Saudis were going to take over the world with the Russians. And then somebody comes along and says, we can frack, we can horizontal drill, and it just changes everything. And that's kind of we're the only country that doesn't have class impediments. We don't say you're in the wrong class, you can't do that.
Yeah.
We got over the racial impediment. And so you're unleashing, it's a very volatile, dangerous society and very dynamic and chaotic. But once you unleash it, you get a guy like Elon Musk, and all of a sudden he can make an electric car that everybody wants. All of a sudden he can save NASA and make better stuff than the government, or he can give internet. I'm speaking to you on Starlink. I would never be able to do it in rural California. So he's really just one guy came here and we let him do what he wanted. And so I have a confidence that if we just keep within the sidelines and don't go crazy and rail in these campuses a little bit and stop these Daryl Coopers, not stop them by fiat or law, but by force of argument.
Yes.
The middle will hold. And if it does hold, I'll just finish with an anecdote.
As the temps start to rise, I get that familiar urge to refresh my closet. But I am done wasting money on trendy pieces that I wear once, which is why I'm obsessed with Quince. The clothes are timeless, elevated, built to last, no insane markup. I'm talking about 100% European linen shorts and dresses that start at just $30. Italian leather platform sandals, luxe swimwear that looks straight off a runway but costs half of what you'd expect. Quince partners directly with top-tier factories, cutting out the middleman so you get designer quality at a price that actually makes sense. And they only work with ethical, responsible manufacturers who care about people and the planet. Personally, I stocked up on the linen tees and the tanks, and believe it or not, a killer summer dress. Occasionally, I do wear dresses. And honestly, it finally feels like my wardrobe matches my standards. Upgrade your wardrobe at quince.com. Luxury should never mean compromise. Team, give your summer closet an upgrade with Quince. Go to quince.com/Jillian for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/Jillian to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/Jillian.
Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the podcast, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. And make sure to let me know what guests you want to see on in the future.